A fly tying kit for $10? I'll show you. Hi friends, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about something that I haven't videoed in a long time, and it just happened to me. It was about my I used to call it the $5 fly tying vise. It's really, let's just say with inflation and everything, it's under $10. You can get a complete fly tying kit. And how this came about, I will explain it to you in a second, was during the pandemic, I was teaching some kids to tie flies in a classroom. I'd come every week and we'd tie flies getting ready for this spring. And the pandemic happened, and I couldn't teach them anymore. So I had to come up with a way to somehow send a fly tying kit home to every kid so that we could do it on Zoom. Okay. And these are like fourth, fifth graders, so I'm trying to teach fly tying to fourth and fifth graders on Zoom. So as I banged around, I figured out a way to create a fly tying with a vise, bobbin, scissors, the whole thing, for, at that time, it was really under $3 or $4. Now it's, I'd say about $7, $8. Let's just call it 10. So I'm going to show it to you what it is. And the reason I just thought about it was just recently I was doing something where I had to sit in a gallery for about 4 hours, just waiting for customers to come in. And I needed something to do. So I thought, oh, I'll just tie up some flies. So I take one of my kits with me all the time when I go anywhere. And the whole kit is here. And this is it. And if I need a classroom set, which I'd been teaching classroom sets, I have 20 kits in this one bag. So just to give you an idea. So they're lightweight, they're easy to handle, and I'm going to show you what's in it and how much it costs and where to get the stuff. And so hang with me, we're doing this. So I'm going to tip this down a little bit just to show you what I have. So in the kit, I'll put this stuff aside right now, is basically some pieces of MDF, and I picked these up. They're actually shelving boards. I cut them in half and then glue them together, and it gives you a nice sort of semi-heavy base without being crazy heavy like those big heavy metal bases. I then drill some holes in it, and then also just make an angled hole here, and you'll see what that angled hole is. Now here are the tools I have. I pick up these bobbins. These bobbins are about 3 for $5 on eBay. Okay, they're not super expensive. Scissors I get, they're called nose hair scissors, and you can pick these up. I think I got 50 of them for about $30. So under $1 a piece these are. Bobbin threaders, I'll explain all these things in a minute. These I actually make myself, but you can pick these up for $1, okay? I make them out of guitar wires. I make guitars, so I have lots of guitar wire hanging around. This is made from a straw. This is called a half hitch tool. I'll explain that to you. And here's the secret. These are X-Acto knives, and you can buy them $15 for under, I think they're about $11 or $12 on Amazon, depending. Just depends, but you got to buy like 15 at a time, and they come with the blades in them, but I take the blades off. So that goes in here. And this is how I give the kids the tools. I tell them to take their tools out, and here's their tools. So there it is. So the whole thing, the wood's like 20 cents, 30 cents. This is under $1. This is under $1. This is about $1. you know, and the rest of these are a couple bucks, you know. So let me show you how it works. And I'll play around with a couple different flies right now. In fact, I may tie, well, here's the flies. I've been tying these prime Mouradians, tiny little ones, without legs the other day. And I'll just show you how. I'll pull out some hooks, and we'll see these are Mustad 12 hooks. Now this vise will handle everything up to about a number, like a number 4 hook probably. So basically, here's my hook. You take this out. Obviously, you take the razor out before you hand it to kids or anything. And then you loosen it up. Now, the only weird thing about it is that you would think that you could just tighten this collet and it would work, but it doesn't. So it's loose. There's a little collet. I don't know if you can see that. See how there's a collet there? You basically stick your hook in, kind of on an angle like that, and then you hold this part and you have to turn the bottom. It's kind of counterintuitive. You stick it in here. Now with the kids, I typically have them do this, you know, hanging off the side of the desk so they get a little bit more distance, but I want to do it to you a little bit so you can see what's going on. So here now I have my setup. I can then take my thread and just wrap it around. And I teach them to basically hold the thread, you know, sideways like this, and they can wrap it on there. And this is on, look at, that's pretty tight. So that's not going anywhere. I'll take a couple peacock feathers real quick, just to show you how quickly we can tie something. Just to give you a sense of what's going on. It doesn't move around very much. Sometimes you do have to kind of palm it a little bit, but the kids, you know, if third graders can do this, anybody can do this. Then I just do up to the top, back to the middle. Okay, nice little nymph right there. Tighten that down. Take some feathers, or some, this is, by the way, this is deer hair. Okay. I'm just going to do a quick little fly just to show you how good this vise is and what you're able to do with it. And so I'm just flaring some deer hair here right now. I'm going to take it up to the front. If you're interested in this particular fly, it's called the Prime Mouradian. Just look it up on my playlists. I'm not going to put legs on it just because it's going to take too much time. But they work this way, legless, just as well. And I tie that off. And then I use this weird little tool. I teach them a half hitch. It's a little easier than anything else. And basically you wrap it around the end of the straw. You can use the pointed end of the straw to place the knot wherever you want it to. So for those little fingers, sometimes this is a little easier. If you wanted to put this right at the tip, you just tuck it in there, slide it down, and you got a knot at the tip. Boom. So this is my kit that I use. I almost tie more flies using this than anything else because we do it through Ann Arbor Trout Unlimited. I just put the name on it when I give it to the kids. And what's nice about this is I do workshops where we tie flies out at a park. I give everybody a kit. We tie a fly, and then we go out and we fish with that particular fly. And then everybody gets to keep a fly tying kit with them. I support all this by selling lawn trout. You may see that down in the description. It's a lawn trout, it's a casting game for the lawn. So there you go. That's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.